Today we're looking at how to glaze or caramelize vegetables, and in this case for the demonstration I'm going to use onions. Now this is a technique we're going to be using in French cooking a lot, over and over again, and I'm going to demonstrate today what we can do with the onions, but the same technique can be applied for carrots, turnips, and also zucchinis, which is less common. You do more some glazing. All right. So the first thing, when it comes to onions, a lot of people wonder, how do you get these small onions? Sometimes they're hard to find. In Australia, they are called pickling onions. They are sold in a bag like that, and with a big bunch of them, and they are basically just been selected beforehand out of all the big onions, and they just give you this. It's a set of kind of smallish onions that you can get and you can use for, do all kinds of pickling with vinegar and things like that. Now, obviously, when you peel it, as I've done here for the video, this is the original product. When you peel one, from what you can see, this is too big. The original size. I mean, we're not horses, and this in your mouth would be obviously not a great experience. It would be a bit too large. So what we're going to look for, food like a delicate experience, something nice. So this would be more appropriate. This is what I've already prepared. And this is roughly the size we're going to use, mostly for stews. It can be even smaller, but that's as big as you would make them. Now, how do you get from that to that? You see the difference? Well, it's a very simple process. You first peel your onions. So you take it, you remove all the peels. Once you're done here, basically you're just gonna make an incision on the side here, and maybe another one here. Not too deep, and you're just basically gonna remove that kind of extra layer of skin, because that's the good thing with onions. They're just like, it's like a jacket. And you undress your onions over and over again. If this is still too big, you can repeat the same process and again remove another layer of the skin, bit by bit. So I'm not doing a superb job here, but you get the idea, and you get something like this. You can then cut a little bit at the top, and you prepare your onions, which is roughly, as you can see, the same size. And what you want to have when you do glazing or caramelizing of onions and other vegetables, you want to have uniformity. All the veggies have to be the same size. So when you cook them, you're going to have they're going to cook equally, all of them at the same time. All right. So this is for the peeling, and let's move on to the actual process on the stove. All right, how do you glaze vegetables and caramelized onions? Well, it's very simple, and it's the same technique for any small vegetable. So being carrot, being a turnip, or being these onions. So you start off with your raw onions. You put them in a small pan, and not too large. You want to have just a little bit of space, and you're just going to add water, and just water at the height of the onions or the carrot, not any further than that. Into this, we're just going to add a little bit of butter. So we had about like 20 grams of butter. Let them here. Okay, doesn't matter. Boom. And you're going to add your sugar. Same thing, 20 grams. Very easy. You put your heat on high, all right, to start with. And you're going to use this special circle that we've seen in another video. You can find a link above. And you just pour it here to cover. And we're going to wait until this goes to the boil. Then put it slightly down, let it simmer until all of the water basically disappeared. All right, so let's have a look. I'm going to remove that little cover here. And as you can see here, my onions already at this stage are what I will call glazed. If you want it to stop here, you have what you call the glazing. You see, it's nice and shiny, they're very sweet, and they're perfect, and you could stop the cooking just right here to have a glazed vegetable or a glazed onion. I'm gonna go a bit further, because if you continue to cook them, what's gonna happen is that the sugar is gonna caramelize, and this is where we're gonna have our caramelized onions. So just a few minutes more, and we'll look at the result when it's nice and brown. Okay, so I want to show you this because this is the important moment. You can see here it starts to get brown. So like a caramel, things can get very fast from here. As soon as you start to have that brownish color coming, you can start to basically toss your onion very gently around the pan, turn them around and coat them into that caramel. Okay, but you have to be very careful. So you keep on doing this, then you let them sit again in the caramel until they are a nice kind of brownish color, but don't burn them. Alright, that's it, it's brown enough. As you can see, there's all the caramel here, but it's not burned. You see, if I put my pan and I toss the onions, it's scraping the bottom to have all that caramel. So I'm just going to one last shake to coat them in caramel, and then I'm going to put them in a little container and have a look how they look like. And that's it, that completes our caramelized onion video. Look at these little beauties, they're very sweet, very shiny, and they are an extremely good complement for every French dish. If you want to do the same, you can use turnips, carrots, and any vegetable. You can caramelize them, you can just glaze them. It's a very good addition. So I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.